Hello, how are you today? Good morning. Okay, guys. Good. Okay, hello. I'm just waiting for people to join to the conversation. Sophia, welcome. Good morning. How are you today? Nestor, my friends, how are you? Let's pretend that I am a certain famous Spanish artist. Hello, are you there? Can you feel me? Well, just checking. Sophia, are you there? Yes, Sophia, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Sophia's there. Tristan, just checking microphones. Tristan.
Ahorita entró. Ahí está.
Who's the guy with the Kubasi?
Hello.
Good afternoon. Why do I have two Sophias?
Porque no estoy usando el micrófono.
Okay, well, English, by the way. Nestor, welcome, my friend. Nestor, Christian is there. Salvador, Keith.
Here.
That's it.
In English, keep.
English,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I said here.
You say?
Patricia, and who's the wolf? Alvaro.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, good morning, man. Okay, Alan and Dan. There you go. Okay, just let me close a few things right here. Okay, great. So let's get started. How do you feel with this thing?
Weird.
With the quarantine? How are your classes doing?
Good.
Strange.
It's like more bored. Well, not bored. Like you have more distractions.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Right now, I'm in the computer. As you can see, I'm in my house. Well, in my apartment. But I need to be aware of my daughter and stuff. So it's,
Yeah.
actually, yesterday I was in a class in another school, and I totally forgot to take out the garbage. And then I saw the boss, and I asked him to wait like 2 minutes while I was taking out the garbage. But it was in another class, not in America, but it was in another university. They were more flexible. They understand. Anyway, so have you guys playing something these days? I'm pretty sure that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
The new
Yes.
Warzone.
Hellblade.
Wait, why don't you? Okay, this is gonna be a mess to speak at the same time. Why don't you just mention Hellblade? Good choice. Why don't you mention by chat and then we discuss? Hey, this
Okay.
share your comments in this chat box. Warzone. I played Warzone, but man, it's huge. I spent like 10 minutes walking around and I didn't see anyone. When they told me that there were like 150 players, I couldn't see anyone. I was like, where is everybody?
It's a very big map.
It's a huge map. And then I was killed and I was in the gulag.
Gulag.
Hey, what am I going to do here? Anyway, Alan, Days Gone. It's like the one like an apocalyptic, like Walking Dead, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's like a virus or something.
I want to play that game. Irma, Apex, Dead by Daylight. Are those good games? I have heard them, but I haven't played them.
Yeah, I love Apex. It's like a shooter, multiplayer shooter, and Dead by Daylight is from Steam. It's
Cool.
a horror game.
Cool. I haven't played them. I know them. Alvaro Gonzalez, Resident Evil 3 demo. How was it? I downloaded, but I haven't played. You know why?
It's very. ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say corto?
Short.
Short, and it's very easy if you go to the end. Así, tal cual. But the ¿cómo se llama? Coleccionables.
Collectible.
Ajá, it's 20 and bueno, yo solo he encontrado 10.
I only found.
I only found 10. Yeah, and the Nemesis is, oh my god.
Okay, I haven't played it. I want to play it, but is there any big difference between Resident Evil 2?
Yes, one thing is the dodge of the zombies. You can dodge como un parry, but it's too easy. Fácil pasar el juego sin balas. Puedes esquivar.
It is easy to pass the game without bullets.
Without.
Okay, well, it says I have been playing Call of Duty. Which one?
Warzone.
Warzone? Okay, so
Me with Luigi and Alexander.
nice.
We are a huge team, and I think that we could win a competition.
Nice. I would love to see some of your videos. Kubasi, you've been playing a lot. You have a lot of free time?
Kinda. I mean, I was put off from work, so yeah, I don't have much to do.
Okay, so Dan, are you here? So you're playing
Yeah.
Simulator?
Ah.
I'm here.
The daughter is here, so don't pay attention to it.
No worry.
So China Simulator, is that the one with the viruses and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Last dinner. Okay, I need you to do something for me. I need to take attendance. So please just write down present in the chart.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to my account because I need to check. I need to take attendance second semester.
Present.
I know it's present. Too much present. Wait. Let me see. Well, at least you're not a huge group, so I can find them. Okay, just let me see. I still have Andres. Anyway, who's Andres?
The guy like come 3 times per semester.
month.
Just checking. Kubasi is here. Sophia.
Yes.
Yeah, just let me. It's because this thing is kind of slow. Sophia. What's your last name, Sophia?
Leon.
There you go, Sophia Leon. Thank you. I opened the Excel chart. Tristan, where?
Present.
Right here. Alam, Irma. Alam. There you go. Daniel, Luis, Daniel.
No mames.
What?
Sorry.
What? What's
Sorry.
that, bro?
Because they sent me a message of my work that we will not work until the 30th of March.
Oh.
5 days more. without work.
Does this affect you economically?
Kind of.
No? Okay, just okay, Dano Rosas, Alvaro, okay. Where's Alvaro? What's your last name, Alvaro? González.
Álvaro González, Álvaro David González.
Okay, keep it's here. Where is Salvador?
Alex.
Alexander.
Alexander.
Where is he? Iñiguez. There you go. Sorry. Juan Carlos.
No, he's absent.
He's absent. I'm sorry.
He don't have light on in his house.
He doesn't have? Osvaldo. Oh, that was my daughter. Osvaldo.
He's not here.
It was or it wasn't?
It was.
It was here.
He was
but
here, yeah.
Maybe another class.
Yeah, in math class.
Okay, well, sorry. Nestor is here. Christian Osvaldo. Is absent too? Okay. Well, cool. Christian. Yes. What Christian are you? Because there you go. Sorry, what Christian? There you go. Keep saying. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna close this thing. And I don't know who is in. Do you have your WhatsApp, Facebook? Please close them because sometimes they affect the sound. I'm gonna close my WhatsApp, and that's it. I'm gonna show you guys something that I found yesterday. You know that I like to be involved with current news. We noticed they canceled the E3. They canceled a lot of the major events. In the sport class, I just showed them something about Tokyo 2020 that they just postponed 1 year.
Yes.
But let me tell you something. It seems that it's like a curse because I didn't know that. But during the World War II, Japan was meant to be the host of the Olympic Games, so they canceled because of the war. Then they have another Olympic Games, like in I don't know, like the 60s, I guess, and they have an issue. And now that they were again the host, we got the coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Yeah. So it seems that. But I saw this short video. We cannot watch a lot of videos now, but I want to show you this related to video games. Okay, really short. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this game and then we're gonna talk about it. It lasts really. It is really short. It's like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so can you see my desktop?
Yep.
When the outside world seems scary and overwhelming, people long for simpler times. It's why High Score Games in Shakopee is seeing its busiest week in years.
It's wanting to play what you played when you grew up, or it's wanting to show your kids what you played when you grew up.
General Manager Tommy Toohey says everything old school is flying off the shelves. Nintendo, Sega, and most surprisingly, PlayStation 2.
You know, when we first opened, nobody wanted those. You couldn't get rid of them. And when people traded them in, like, oh no, what are we going to do with these? You know, and now it's like everybody comes in, they're looking for the PS2 games they played when they were growing up.
Board game shops like Tower Games in Minneapolis are also seeing a boost in business.
They were doing actually a fair amount of shopping.
Owner Bob Siebold says last weekend was busier than ever, but starting Monday, business came to a screeching halt. So he scrambled together a small online shop to keep selling games.
We're still fine-tuning it, but we've already had 2 orders come in this morning.
And his biggest seller?
A game called Pandemic, and we've sold out of that and are getting more in.
Wow.
What you're doing is trying to race around the world, stopping or minimizing outbreaks.
Bob says the game came out 12 years ago and is definitely making a comeback. He says other hot sellers include Settlers of Catan and Dungeons & Dragons. He's also sold a lot of gift cards to regulars who don't have a game in mind right now, but still want to help out the shop.
And want to know what they can do.
Because he says people who game together stay together.
It's a great way to kind of unplug a bit.
Well, Gordon's joining us live from his house. Hi, Gordon. That's crazy. I can't think of a game I'd want to play less right now than Pandemic, but that's fine. You know?
I'm the same thing.
What's going on at your house?
Yeah.
You have a little one, so you're probably playing what? Go fish? Maybe not even that yet.
No, I'm gonna introduce my 2-year-old to some of the old school games like Mario Kart.
Oh,
I think he can
yes.
handle that. Driving around a go-kart and maybe Donkey Kong here. A couple other games here. A little more mature, but my wife and I like this one, Flashpoint. It's a firefighter game where you kind of work together. But one thing I'm hearing that's like really cool to hear about is a lot of these gamers that are into board games that can't be together right now are actually playing through Skype and FaceTime. Each one of them has their own copy of the game, and then they're basically taking turns over Skype, which is kind of cool to see the lengths people will go to kind of come together.
Yeah, just to connect. We all need it right now, that's for sure. All right, we'll give that 2-year-old a big hug. We appreciate it.
Will do.
Thanks, Gordon.
So what do you think? What do you think about this?
Well,
You first.
sorry.
Okay.
Well, I really like the concept of people going back to old games, basically because there's nothing else to do at the moment. So it's getting everything kind of a revival. I think it's cool.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Well, I think that it's like the same thing that doing Pokemon. In Pokemon, you can, in the newest, is it correct to say that? Okay. In the newest games of Pokemon, you can have like things of the olds, like red or something like that, and with the how do you say, like things in the past that you remember and makes you happy.
Well, they have like this sense of nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yes. And if you do this, it's more like appreciated by the people. So that's why the industry of games are doing these games like old games.
Okay. Girls, do you have anything to say?
Not at all.
See?
Keep.
I think it's cool.
Would you expect something like this, like people getting these games out and they're actually looking for them because they know that they will be in quarantine? So that means that they will have a lot of time. I mean, we don't have that time, but they will have a lot of time to do this kind of stuff. But then look, the curious thing here is they're looking for all games, not the newest. So what do you think about that? Keep.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool to kind of bring back the old games.
Yeah, it is cool. Actually, talking about my case, I undosed my PlayStation 3, and yesterday I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I couldn't believe that there were people playing, and I was like, oh, yeah! 10 years after, I can play again. And you can see my collection at the back.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be playing forward.
Nice collection.
Thank you. I moved here for like, I've been living here for a year, but I haven't put like this pieces of wood. So I wanted to put all my amiibos and stuff, but that's pretty cool. But anyway, so it seems that the game industry and animation industry, they have an advantage in these kind of scenarios because lots of people are watching videos, lots of people are buying movies, digital movies, lots of people are buying digital games. And I believe that we do have an opportunity. I mean, it's really bad that we take advantage in a situation like this. But hey, it's business. So that means that you won't suffer like other careers, like for example, physiology, that they need to be in contact with the people, touching the people, sports, we cannot go out. So you have an advantage for this. I don't know if you have ever thought about it.
Not like that.
I never really considered, but yeah.
Talk about it. I mean, you can be working at home. You can create animation. You can create video games, sell them through internet. You can get money from it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
It is an opportunity. Well,
A great opportunity.
It is. It is. But anyway, let's continue. Let me show you again the desktop thing, because guys, this is the class of today, and I need you to pay attention because it's kind of a tiring thing, but it is important, especially because you passed the second level. And by the way, who wrote the Gremlins stuff? Sophia?
Gremlins?
Oima, who wrote the Gremlins?
No, I think it's Irma.
It was you. Okay. I was checking the, you have a project, a website, and I was checking the Gremlins stuff. I just sent the recommendations, suggestions, and corrections in grammar and spelling. I send you this thing through Discord. Guys, I need you to send me any time that you can have for free. Please send me your link of your website if you haven't started yet. If you haven't started, don't worry. We have plenty of time. Remember that the project is for June 5th, I guess. We don't know what's going to happen with this quarantine. We don't know if it will take longer. I hope it won't, but it seems that this is going to be for at least a month. We don't know what's going to happen, but if you have this time, you can take advantage of it and finish your project before June. You can do it in these days. Okay, cool. Now, these two topics, relative clauses, defining and undefining, and linkers, they are quite necessary for written, because something, I don't know, I have mentioned to you in previous classes, it's like...
2:30, güey.
What?
It's Osvaldo.
Osvaldo.
Man, you
Sí,
can
güey.
use the chat.
Osvaldo.
You can use the chat, man. Anyway.
Sorry.
Don't worry. I totally lost. Okay. I was telling you, I have experience with some students, and when they speak, I noticed that some of them, they can speak in past, in present, and the future, which it's fine. I mean, you are accomplishing the task of speaking, but if you want to do it in a professional way, you need to work on perfect tenses and this kind of stuff. It's very rare that some of the students that I work with uses this kind of stuff in the regular conversation. Remember, writing, it's about thinking, about grammar, it's about doing nicely and politely. But speaking, everything is spontaneous. And sometimes you cannot erase what you just spoke. In the written form, in writing, you can erase. You can redo it again and again until you think that it's perfect to show it. But speaking is really hard. So let's go with the relative clauses. Have you ever heard about relative clauses?
No.
They ring a bell.
Well, yes.
Yes? Okay,
I think yes.
Let's get started with this. Relative clauses give us information about the person or thing mentioned, okay? Defining relative clauses give us essential information that tell us who or what are we talking about. For example, the woman who lives next door works in a bank. These are the flights that have been canceled. We usually use relative pronouns or adverbs to start a defining relative clause. Who, which, that, when, where, or whose. Everything okay so far?
Yes.
Good. Who, we use them for people. Which, we use it for?
Like action? Well, like things.
Oh, it will be more object.
For actions, for objects. What about that?
Can be used for both.
Also object.
Also object and people. Yeah, that, you can use it for who or which. I mean, you can use any of those and that's just fine. We have when we use it for? Time. Where? Place. Whose?
Belonging, possession.
What is, sorry, what?
Belongings.
Belongings, yes. Possession, very good. So we have basically, these are the basic ones, and we use them for defining clauses. Okay, let's continue. I wanna just put this because too much information. Okay, right here, I just wanna, okay. Who, that, we can use who or that to talk about people. That is more common and a bit more informal. For example, she's the woman who cuts my hair. He is the man that I met at the conference. So as you can see, you can use both, who or that. Yeah, there is no difference.
Okay.
Which and that, you can use both at the same time. So we can use which or that to talk about things. That is more common and a bit more informal. So I suggest you to use who or which. You can use that in an informal way when you're speaking, that's just fine.
Okay.
There was a 1-year guarantee which came with a TV. The laptop that I bought last week has started making a strange noise. Questions?
No.
No? Okay, cool. Other pronouns. When can refer to time. For example, summer is the season when I'm happiest. Where can refer to a place. That's the stadium where Real Madrid play. Whose refers to the person that something belongs to. Belongings. He is a musician whose albums have sold millions. Okay, questions?
No.
No?
Belongs.
Okay. Well, let's do the first tag. I need you to write one example of each. For example, one with who, which, where, and whose in the chat, please.
Okay.
Let's go one by one. Let's do first the who. For example, he is the boy who cleans the room. That's my example. What about you? Excellent. Very good, Alan.
It's a phrase from Breaking Bad.
No.
That's nice. Fun.
Learning English is, you need to practice your memory too. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, Luis, the person who have the most dominant shot. If you're talking about one single person, so it's who has. Okay, but good job.
Okay, who has?
He's the doctor who treated me. Very good.
Life experiences.
Just an example. It's not based on anything. Okay,
Somebody told me that.
Somebody told me.
I have a question for you, all of you.
What question?
It's not necessary. You don't have to do it. But why do you cover your face? I mean, I see the names, Sofia, Nestor, Christian.
I don't have a camera.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, because in sports, all of them, they were like
I have a computer, but I can do in my cell phone, but I can hear the computer and because I am, well, my like the things to do to listen in the computer.
Okay,
I can have both.
Don't worry.
What the fuck,
Don't worry,
Sofia?
as long as you can see and my computer. She's the teacher who died. Well, she's a mechanic. She's a mechanic who repairs or repaired my car. She's the girl.
Repair, no?
Yeah, in past or present. I mean, for example, he's the mechanic who repairs. It's like someone that you usually take your car to.
Repairs.
She is the girl to who I saw a drawing. Okay, Irman, that's a nice sentence. But instead of who, you're going to use whom. Yeah, let me just copy your example.
Okay.
Can you see the chat?
Yep.
Yes.
But can you see it in my screen?
No.
No.
So she's the skill to whom I sold. That will be better. Whom is not mentioned here, but it's a formal way to say who. What's the difference between who and whom? Who knows?
I don't know.
Whom is for possession? Like she poses her draw?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna explain it in an easy way. Whose? It's about possession. Who? It's about people. Whom? It's about people too. But the main difference is whom. It's more formal, but usually you need a preposition. For example, in this case, she is the girl to whom I saw a drawing. For example, she is the girl who I sold a drawing. That would be better. But because she has a preposition to, you need to add the whom thing.
Okay.
Okay.
You have, for example, are you fans of Metallica?
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a famous song, To Whom? The Bells. So, yeah, and for example, if you send a letter and you have no idea about the name that is going to receive the letter, you write to whom it may concern. Anyway, Alvaro, he teaches English, very good. Keith, he's the one who won the game, excellent. Nestor, he's the gamer who has the best score in Tetris, nice. And he's the driver who collide. Interesting word, collide. Crash. Okay, now can you give me an example with which?
Which? Okay.
Nice. The Death Star is a station which destroyed Alderaan.
Oh.
It is hard, huh? When you have to create an example.
I don't know. I am like I don't know.
The class is over. See you later. No, please come on. Okay, only Kubasi gave me the example. What about the rest of you?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, there are more examples. Guadalajara is a place which has.
Has. Okay.
I can find the cup in which I usually drink tea. Nice. In which, okay, yeah.
I don't think mine is good, teacher, but
Luis Arturo? Yes, which has. It's
No,
just,
Daniel.
Daniel, she told me.
Clothes.
She told me which clothes will be good to wear. Well, that will be a sentence, but it's not extra information. I don't know. For example, you can erase. She told me, and have only the clothes will be good to wear. So I will change the example. I mean, it's the hospital which they don't attend you. What's LM? IMSS. I'm sorry. IMSS is spelled IMSS. Anyway.
Yeah, not double M.
This is the class which I love. Man. Next time, this is the car which ran
That is.
Yes, which ran over me. Over me. Good.
Super Saiyan.
Okay, great. It seems that that's all. Let's continue, Gwen. So I can tell you that you can use these kind of sentences either with which or that. For example, this is a class that I love, or this is a class which I love. I mean, you can use in both ways. Just let me tell you something. These kind of sentences are used for information, yeah, that cannot be separated. I mean, if you just write which I love, it wouldn't make any sense because you will need another sentence. So this information, it's essential. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It seems that my neighbors are having a party because I can listen to the music. Can you listen to the music?
No.
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's good. Salvador, coronavirus is which? No, it's okay.
Oops, the word.
Salvador, I will tell it. Coronavirus is the thing which kill people in the world. Yes. Keep. In which class have we had homework? Okay. Cool.
Killing.
Well, yes, killing. Okay. Now, let's check. Let's do an exercise right now, just really fast. Yeah, someone is having a party today. Anyway, other pronouns: when, where, and whose. Do you have any questions about whose? No.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay. What about whose?
Can you explain it again, please?
Whose. I'm gonna write something right here. It's about possession. Yeah. For example, who's this?
Yours.
It's mine. It's my possession. Okay. Well, I shouldn't do this, but who's this?
Yours.
It's mine. Yeah. So that's his possession. So, for example, in the example that you can see on the screen, it says he's a musician whose albums, I mean, the albums of the musician have sold millions. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to do this exercise. You need to use who, which, whose, I cannot see it, where, and where. So you just write down the number and your answer, okay?
Okay. Okay.
You cannot use
Enter. Yes.
Sí. Ponle
Without-
Shift Enter.
Oh, thanks.
I keep seeing.
Watch.
Actually, I am more concerned about the you too. Yeah, it's because it seems that yesterday we had an interesting situation here in my house. We got serenata yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, where I live, it's only it's like a 3-floor building. And I live on the top in the 3rd floor. We have some neighbors that they live in the 2nd floor. And the 1st floor, there is an office. So because nobody's working, we're only me and my family and the neighbors. But there are 2 guys. So yesterday, it seems that someone said yes because they were singing a lot of music. I mean, at least it wasn't banda, but the playing was kind of cool. But they're making a lot of noise. We didn't care because it was a night. It was just fine. But right now, this guy just woke up and he's been playing music the whole morning, and now the music is louder. He's singing songs from Paulina Rubio. So it's just like, okay, I hope he's okay. Maybe he's happy. But I just concerned about the class if you can listen to the sound, to the music.
Now, well, I can hear like a little bit, but I heard like that the man is singing.
Yeah, that's my neighbor, but he's on the second floor.
Do like in the movies with how do you say
With a mob or
like a mob and ta ta ta.
And
I actually I believe he's doing that because I got his attention in the morning. He was making so much noise in the morning. My family was sleeping and I was in another class, and I asked him to turn down a little bit the music, and he was like in pajamas, like he was like drunk. Something happened. Maybe he's happy. I mean, I don't care, but just concerned about the class. And actually, I like Paulina Rubio too. Okay, so who, which, who's, which, who, when? Who's, which, when? It sounds like a tongue twister. Who, when? Okay,
like Eminem.
Yeah, I know. I will recommend you a commercial from Mountain Dew and Doritos with the guy from Game of Thrones and Morgan Freeman. Anyway, so the woman.
Who?
Oh, there is another way. One of the people.
Which?
It's a person. Who?
Okay.
Okay.
That's the man.
Who's?
Yeah, possession. Where is the book?
Which?
Don't lend you. I'm looking for something.
Who?
Which?
Is something.
The day.
When.
Excellent. Very good job. I can see that most of you are correct. Okay, cool. If there's no questions, we can move on.
Okay.
Okay, just to end this thing about defining thing, it's sometimes you can omit the relative pronoun. For example, let me read. Sometimes we can leave out the relative pronoun. For example, we can usually leave out who, which, or that if it's followed by a subject. For example, the assistant that we met was really kind. So you can omit we. Yeah. So you can omit the that because you have a subject, we. We can usually leave out if it's followed by a verb. The assistant that helped us was really kind. In this occasion, you cannot omit. So only when you have a subject, you can omit it. You can omit that. Is that clear?
Okay.
Great. And just listen to the music, and I want to sing. Anyway. At least it's not banda, my friend, because if you start playing banda reggaeton, I will go downstairs. Look at these examples to see how non-defining. Okay, now, what is the main difference between defining and not defining? Okay, it's easy, but sometimes if you're not paying attention, this might be confused for you. Jack, who is retired now, spends a lot of time with his grandchildren. We want to see the new Tom Carter film, which was released on Friday. My sister, whose dog I'm looking after, is visiting a friend in Australia. At first sight, what will be the main differences between defining and not defining?
Yeah.
Is this how specific it is?
How specific it is? Yes. Okay, let me just back to the first slide so you can see. It seems that my daughter, she's like having a bad time. Okay. Okay. I have a question for you. If you erase this, will you still have a sentence?
Jack spent a
Yes.
lot. Yes.
Spends a lot of time with his grandchildren. If you erase this, do you have a sentence?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Give me an example. Let me give you an example of this one. If I erase this, would you have a sentence?
No.
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 Because information there, it's very important. I mean, it's part of the sentence. So she's the woman who cuts my hair. And this kind of sentences, the non-defining, it's just extra information that you add to the sentence. Usually separated by commas. If you can see in the first example, you have commas. And it's extra information because we don't care about that he's retired. But for example, we want to see the new Tom Carter film, and this is extra information, which was released on Friday. My sister, for example, whose dog I'm looking after, we don't care that you're looking after a dog. We just care that about your sister is visiting a friend in Australia. So that's the main difference between non-defining and defining. Defining information, it's essential. Non-defining, it's extra, separated by commas. Okay, that's the main difference. Now,
okay.
Another difference is that in this kind of sentences, you cannot use that. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, Jack that retired, it's impossible. If you have a comma, you cannot use that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's do this. Complete the sentences with who, which, whose, when, or where. Please, you have 2 minutes.
Okay.
English class is sponsored by bottles of water from America. Do you have yours?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
I have
I
two.
have
have
mine
3.
right here.
I have but like style.
I get paid every time that I mention America.
Oh.
I don't see you wearing your uniform, man.
It's too hot for you.
Yeah, thank God I have a fan here.
We visit the museum.
Dana.
Who's
Okay. No. Let's wait.
Who's
Okay, let me send messages.
shit?
My daughter is watching Moana, so it's just like I'm working and then. Okay, let me see Kubasi. Look, number 1, yes. Number 2, yes. Okay, yes. Yes.
Oh,
It works with
I think
I made a mistake.
No.
Very good. Kubasi, very good. Can you see Kubasi's answers?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Kubasi, You said number one, it was?
As which?
The pirate
Great.
dad.
My cousin?
Who?
Who? We visited the museum?
Where?
Where? There's another way. She offered me a copy?
Which?
Which? Sorry. Which? Yesterday?
Which? When?
Okay, Guasi, let me see your answers again. Guasi. Okay, number four, which? Very good. It didn't write. No. Let me see. There you go. He works with his parents. Whose company makes furniture. The party at the weekend.
When?
Very good. When? And the last one, the hospital.
Where?
Which?
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 Yes. That's it. So, was it difficult?
No.
No.
No. It's actually just a matter of practice.
I have one more.
Let's move on.
Teacher.
Yes.
I gotta go.
You gotta go where?
To my job. To work. Yep.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I mean that's tragedy, but.
Okay. Who said that?
Alam.
Okay.
Me.
Man. Okay, but remember that you were supposed to be. I mean, it's not. It's a suggestion. Remember that we're supposed to be in class at this time. So if we were in a regular class, so try not to do this very often. Okay. And we'll talk about that. All the information that you will need, it will be in classroom.
No, yeah, yes, I know. I will quit my job in 1 week.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's for the best.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
don't worry.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's continue then.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye, Alam.
Ciao.
Well, so basically relative clauses give us information about the person or the thing mentioned. Non-defining relative clauses give us extra information about someone or something. It is an essential for understanding who or what we're talking about. You have some examples here. My grandfather, comma, who's 87, comma, goes swimming every day. The house, comma, which was built in 1883, comma, has just been opened to the public. It's not necessary to have double commas. Sometimes you can have 2 commas or just 1 single comma. The award was given to Sarah, comma, whose short story impresses the judges. Next information must be separated by commas, 1 or 2, okay? We always use a relative pronoun or adverb to start an undefined relative clause, who, which, whose, when, or where, but not that. We also use commas to separate the clause from the rest of the sentence. Questions? No?
No.
Well, this is too much. Just, well, let's keep, when do I have this again? Okay, let's do this really fast. Last week, he got a phone call from his father.
Who? Last week? Last week we.
Now I remember. The first one is a tricky question. It's not who. It's
When? No. Last week he got a phone.
Oh.
Oh, whom?
excellent. Yeah, when you have a preposition, you need to use whom. When I left the party, they threw. When I left, they threw me a party. Which, perfect.
Which was
a complete surprise.
Which is for possession or?
No, whose is for possession? Which is you're talking about the event. You're talking about the party. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
My birthday.
Mm.
When? No. Do you see a date?
Which?
No.
Which?
Which?
Thank you. The Java Tiger.
Who?
The Java Tiger is not a person.
No.
Wait.
Where? Which? Like an
Which?
object.
The hostel.
Who's is that the tiger one?
It's a place
Where?
Where?
where we stayed several times. It's simple but clean. I sometimes go and study in a park.
Where? Again?
Where I can get some fresh air.
Yes.
When?
When temperatures are lower.
When temperatures are lower, sees higher rainfall. They went to a concert at the New Era.
Which?
And you sure?
Where?
No.
Because it's a place.
When? No.
When I was born.
Where?
It's like a new arena.
No, it's not. It's not a place. They went to a concert, but the concert was built, so it's not where. It's which was built last year.
Like the event of the construction of the arena.
Yeah, they're not specifying nor a date nor the place. They just mentioned a fact about the arena. Okay, now they're singing another song. Someone is broken hearted today.
Why?
In our practice section. Okay, do you have any questions so far?
No.
Can you write down examples of whom? One example of whom, only one example of whom as a defining and not defining? Yes, I don't see that chat. I've been watching the videos and I don't see that the chat is showing the video, but yes, go ahead. Yes, Christian, you can ask me the question. Don't worry. I want to answer Christian. Okay, where are you, Christian? Okay, Tristan, to whom was the letter addressed? Very good. My mom is the person to whom I love the most. Very good. She's the girl in singular. She's the girl who, well, in this one, Luis, it's a nice sentence. I'm gonna copy your sentence. I'm copying your sentence and, okay, let's do this. That's the girl whom I bought her car from. It's because remember that when you use whom, you will need to use a preposition. For example, in the example of Kubasi, it says the soldier whom nobody had heard of. That's a preposition. Yes. An example of Irma, it says he's the actor whom I asked to appears in the movie. So as long as you have a preposition, you can use whom.
Okay.
He's the friend to whom I gave a hug last year. But guess what, Danny? No more hugs anymore. It's over. Yeah, now it's Wakanda.
Hugs kill people.
Yeah, now it's Wakanda or the Spock sign. Yes, yes, Luis. That's why. That's why. It's because who you refer to a person. Whom you refer to a person to, but you need a preposition. That's it. Yeah, and you can show off this a little bit. You can show up. Man, do you know the difference between who and whom? No, my friend. Please explain.
Ya
me.
no jala.
Yes. You can say that. Okay. What do you mean with that, Luis? Okay, Luis. Your preposition
Pues
is.
sí, yo creo que.
Preposition is from.
Yo creo que hablo con un güey que ponga calentadoras a ver si me puedo conseguir algo.
Güey, desactiva tu micrófono, Álvaro.
Okay, well, don't worry. In another class, there was a boy in the class in the bathroom.
Like
Okay,
the video
then.
No, it's true. He was in the bathroom. He couldn't answer because he was in the bathroom, but he was following the class. And I was like, okay, man, too much information. Okay. Well, it's 1:08. I know that we have 2 hours class. We're going to continue with the next topic. Thank you very much for this one. But I strongly suggest you to stand up and stretch a little bit because being in a seat for many hours is kind of it's really tiring, and I recommend you to stand up and stretch a little bit. So you have 1 minute to stretch yourself. I'm gonna do that because I've been working here since 7 in the morning. So
Okay.
and plus the advertising America. You can move. You can. I wanna look. You can watch my collection. Check this out.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
I know.
it's awesome.
Nice.
Thank you very much. I believe that you are not, how you say that, into collectionism, because someone will call my attention because, oh my God, you put it out of the package. No. You know that they love to have everything in the original package. So if you open the toy, sometimes people get mad. But I don't care.
Yeah.
I actually have a Rob Amiibo and it's still on its package.
I know. No, just because my wife plays Zelda, as I told you, and you have the wolf with this thing.
Lucho, you play the drums?
Yes.
Cool.
So if I wanted to make a competition of noise with my neighbor, I would just turn on the home theater and the PlayStation and the drums. And man, that will be a lot of noise. But I consider myself a mature man and just waiting this guy to relax. And maybe we could talk about it, about how much noise has been doing this day. Anyway, are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, the next topic, it's easy, but it requires a lot of attention. You can see my desktop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's this?
What?
But
We only see the presentation of Google. Google presentation.
But you don't see my bar?
Yeah,
Nope.
I do see
Yeah.
it.
Maya, Photoshop. Yeah.
Unity.
Unity.
After Effects.
If you ever need, I would love to show you some of my creations in Maya, but later, maybe in corporate classes.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty cool. I mean, I'm not into 3D Max. I learned Maya, and I think it's pretty cool. And I was trying to learn Unity. I have made some games actually, and I would love to share some of them with you, and maybe we can finish some of the projects that I've left. But anyway, the next topic is linkers. Have you heard about them?
Yes.
Who says yes?
I think yes.
Me.
What are linkers?
Well, they ring a bell. They can connect two different sentences, like and, but, and things like that.
Okay.
But I don't remember very well.
For example, who left? Tristan or Alan?
Alan.
Alan.
Okay, you have a sentence there. I have to go, I have to work.
Okay, that's a linker.
Because?
Because?
Exactly. Yeah, that's where linking are for. They combine two sentences in order to make it more fluently. I have to go because
I need to work.
I need to work. I just read twice. Don't worry. My mistake. My bad. So let's just write again. Work. Yes, that's the correct one. So you have two sentences and you make just one. That's a function of this. But there are specific words. What I'm going to show you, it's like the synonyms. You want to see a lot of words, but all of them are synonyms, and all of them they can be used in the same form. If you have a particular question about the meaning of each word, you can take your time and look for Google, or at the end of the class, I can explain. Yes?
Okay.
In order to understand this concept, this topic, we need to understand these two things: noun phrase and sentence. What's a noun phrase? You have an example there.
Noun phrase. Sentence. A sentence.
Okay, let me help you. What's this?
An USB, I think. I cannot.
It's a USB. Very good. What's this?
An SD card.
An SD card. Very good. What's this?
Coin.
A coin.
It's a coin from 1986, the World Cup in Mexico.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I get it. I had to hit a boy. He's not. He was. Teacher, look at this. Oh, this is pretty cool. Thank you. Anyway, it was from my mother's. Anyway, so noun phrase are objects. Yes. I have a question for you. Can you show me attendance?
How?
Impossible, right? Can you show me independence?
No.
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 No. Well,
Kind of.
What?
Kind of. If you, with the things you do, you can show that you are independent.
Well, you show an act of independence, but not independence itself.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, it says proper, I mean, this is like grammar, but they're called abstract nouns. For example, concrete nouns are the things that you can touch, like computer, your face, yes, your body.
Okay.
But abstract, it means like things that you cannot touch, like, can you touch time?
Nope.
No. You cannot touch time. So noun phrase is just a concept, it's just a noun. Yes. Sentence, well, by other hand, in sentence, you have a subject, you have a verb, and you have a complement. Basically, just a subject and a verb. Okay. So some of the words that you're gonna see, they will need to be used in noun phrases or sentences. Is that clear?
Yep.
Cool. Great. We're having a good time here. Well, I know this is too much information. I'm concerned about the time, but I guess we can see as much as we can. Anyway, contrast. These words are specified for contrast. For example, what's contrast? Something that is good with something that is bad. Something that is positive with something that is negative and backwards. For example, I'm pretty sure that you have seen these two words, in spite of and despite.
Yes.
Yes.
It says, link two contrasting ideas followed by a noun phrase. Example, the one that I'm writing right now. Okay, just because it's all of you. Okay, there you go. That's a personal example. Despite her absence, yeah, I can feel my mother around. Something negative with something positive. Okay, I can use in despite of, and it's pretty much the same. Can you give me an example? Can you just write one example? You can use in spite of or despite. Just remember, you need a noun phrase for that.
In spite of and despite is the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually despite is at the beginning and in spite of is in the middle, usually. But for this occasion, it's just fine. Okay, Luis Arturo, I like ice cream in spite of, I don't like chocolate. Okay, Luis, you have a problem here. You have two sentences. Remember that in spite of, you will need only a noun. So I will write another sentence. Because in this case, you're using like in both. Tristan, I always do my homework despite I play too much video games. No, because you use a subject and a verb. You cannot use that after despite. Okay. I would change it something like, I always do my homework despite my time. Or despite, I don't know, despite the length of the homework. Or despite the amount of homework. Yeah, as long as you don't say subject and verb.
Okay.
Sophia, that's a very good example. Despite her sickness, she's very positive.
Okay.
The empire fell in spite of its power.
I'm just correcting a sentence that someone, sorry, it's at work, okay, at work. There you go. Kubasi, the empire fell in spite of its power. The problem here is like it's a verb too. So you might change its power. Let me see, Danis. I love eating ice cold beverage despite having very sensible teeth. That's a good one. Because having, it's not a verb, it's a subject. Despite his tall, he can he can dunk. Luis, I will change this one to, let me help you with this one. Okay, you say that he's tall because despite his height, yes, height, he can dunk. This Nestor, despite his problem, she loves, very good. Just remember that the she loves, it's with S because she's still person. Despite his problem, she loves him. Very good, Nestor.
And mine?
Irma, Patricia, in spite of have eaten. In this case, Irma, you chose a very difficult sentence. Very difficult because you haven't seen this form yet. You're gonna see it, I think, next week. In spite of having eaten, I'm still hungry. That would be possible, but not have. I will explain you that later for you if you want to.
Okay.
Despite the rain, I go to the park. Very good. You could say something like, despite the quarantine, we are okay. Yes?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's move on with the next one. This is gonna take some time anyway. Okay, you're seeing my desktop, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. In spite of and despite, they're based on a noun phrase. Yeah, let me see if I can put some titles here. Okay, a noun phrase. Now, although and even though, because you can say although or though or even though, I mean, you have three options here. They're followed by a sentence. Okay. Let me see the latest examples. I finished doing my homework in spite of my Very good, Kev. Like to play Little Nightmares in spite of the tense of escaping from the enemies. Okay. Now, although or even though, they refers to sentence and sentence. For example, although we work online, we're having a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have subject verb, and in somehow it's easier than the first two. So please give me one example of yours using although or even though. The difference between these two is just although usually goes at the beginning, and even though usually goes in the middle. So I will change. I want to write the same examples that I wrote for you, but using even though. As you can see, it's pretty much the same. The only difference is although at the beginning, even though in the middle, but it's pretty much the same. Sophia, although we live in different places, we have a good friendship. Very good. Friendship, FR. Very good.
Ah, oops.
Don't worry, I know this is just a practice. There you go. I'm gonna take a picture of the class just briefly.
Okay.
Do you listen to the sound?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how to take pictures from a Mac?
Nope.
Nope.
Álvaro, no.
No, it's. I want to tell you, it's Command CMD plus Shift plus 4.
A lot. It's hard.
Yeah, when you do that, see my cursor? It changed. Now it has like this, like a graphic, and you just choose whatever you want to take a picture. For example, this thing, and immediately Text a picture.
Okay.
So you have a Mac, you can do that for, I don't know, I hope this tip comes handy when you need it for, I don't know, your homework or something like that.
Yep.
I have a program for that.
In Windows only you need to put Windows Shift S and you can do that.
Cool. Okay. Nestor, sorry, I thought you were complaining, but you are totally right. Although my internet is unstable, I am still here. Very good. Good job. I am. I thought you were apologizing. Although I lost my keys, I have a copy of them. Very good. Although my bad grade, I am still learning too much.
Yes,
I like language English, although I'm very bad. Thank you, Salvador. Alvaro, although we have homework, we play video games. Alvaro.
He died.
I don't know.
Isn't here.
No,
Ah, ya está.
Alvaro, although I am not playing PlayStation 4, I am playing PlayStation 3. You know.
So sorry for that.
No, don't worry, man. You know the quarantine. That's why I haven't been there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Sorry.
I really appreciate that.
Um,
We can talk about that later. By the way, PlayStation Plus is going to give, what I heard yesterday, it's going to give Uncharted 4 next month. Anyway. Danny Orozco, even though I get easily scared, I still watch scary games walkthrough. Very good. Cool. Okay, the last to go to a page, because this is getting kind of an easy thing. Okay, the next part. Okay, Tristan, although she doesn't love me, we are close friends. That's not real, right?
No, that's not real.
Are you sure?
I think
That one hit close home.
Okay, Keith, I want to go outside, even though it's not recommended because of coronavirus. Very good, Keith.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus. Anyway, so the next words, I know that they look like there are a lot, but they are synonyms. You can use them. However, nevertheless, still, yet, even so, on the contrary, in contrast. Just an observation. This yet is not like, for example, have you done your homework? Yet, no, teacher. We haven't yet. No, it's not that idea. This is a synonym of however. Okay, still, it's a synonym of however. All of them, they're synonyms. I'm going to explain another way. You can use any of these words and the meaning won't change. Okay, what are they for? It's pretty much like the other ones. It's there for contrast, but they're introduced by a comma. Yes, and they introduce a new idea. I mean, you have something positive, something negative. For example, I'm gonna write some for you. See? We are in our houses, period. However, we work online. Yes? So
what is the meaning?
Comma, we work online. What's the meaning of however?
Okay.
Yes. So you can use, for example, we're in our houses, nevertheless. We're in our houses, still. We're in our houses, yet. You can use any of this and it won't change the meaning. Do you have a question? Because I heard that someone was like having second thoughts.
No.
No?
Oh, okay.
Let me just read another example.
El de Irma.
Okay. Oh man, you write really fast. Okay, my PC is bad. Period. Don't forget the period. Period. However, comma, I can play video games.
Ah, okay.
Was see, I defeat the boss battle. Period. Yet, comma, his HP bar is starting to regenerate. I really hate that in RPG games. I love cats. Period. However, comma, I'm allergic to them. Don't worry. There are plenty of people that are having the same problem. Go to the doctor. She doesn't love me. Sorry. Period. Yet, comma, I will follow her to death.
Oh.
Ouch.
That's poetic. Okay. Questions?
No.
No.
Okay. I know that I shouldn't do that, but let me go for an example here. This is because I want you to practice a little bit more. Okay, this exercise is pretty cool because it's only about linking words. We saw that despite, we have a synonym in spite, and however, we have plenty, like nevertheless, and although. But the function, every 3 sentences, they're having the same concept. So they're gonna be changing every 3 sentences. Let's do the first one while I'm checking this. I like it by daylight. Still, I have my words on. Very good. I am a good artist. Period. However, I can be better. However, comma. Danny, I am not a very good cook. Period. However, comma. Since very good. Excellent. So, what would you choose in this one?
Despite.
Despite. Despite the rain, we still went to the park. Same idea. It was raining. We still went to the park.
Also. And however.
Let's check.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the point and the comma.
Yeah.
Okay. Nestor, can you help me with number 4?
Die.
Is Nestor there?
He's writing, I think.
Okay. Who's here? Let's see. Sophia. Okay, you can see. Who's the guy that looks like Thor?
Like what?
Like
That
Thor.
looks like what?
Kuwasi?
Was you?
No.
Kubasi is the guy from the Middle Age, like the crowd thing. And
I play doctor.
Well, isn't that Thor like an old man?
Oh, Alexander.
Alexander.
Christian Nestor, and you have the name right here. Nestor, please answer. Aldo. Okay, he says it's Aldo. Okay, number 5.
You're able to watch.
However.
Yep, you got the cue there. And 6.
Despite.
What is the difference of despite and also?
No brass.
Despite.
It's more like although.
Despite it's about a concept. And now, despite the rain. Although it's a sentence. You need to have a subject and a verb. So.
Although.
I guess this is although.
Also.
Because you have a sentence like it was raining, it was expensive.
Okay.
You have to watch the fact. You have the fact.
Oh, despite
is another sentence. So
despite.
Let's check.
Oh.
Okay. we're gonna do just 6, 7, and 8, and we continue with the next point.
Okay.
It's easy. I finished the work.
However.
I finished the homework.
It's right.
However.
Expired.
Although.
Although. And despite.
So I guess well, one thing is that you can complete the exercises with me. Maybe in exam, this will be a little bit more difficult. But so far, you're doing just great. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay. Yeah, it's taking too much time. I can see that it's 1:36. Well, anyway, at least we're gonna see this one and the next one. By the way, this is the longest one. Anyway, on the one hand, on the other hand, yes, it's a very common expression. Sometimes you can use the expression on one hand or on the other hand. Both are correct, okay? This links to contrasting ideas or paragraphs. Yes, for example, on one hand, I don't know, I don't want to give a personal example. On one hand, I work too much. On one hand, I work too much. I wake up every day. I deliver everything in time. On the other hand, I don't get paid. I have to do extra things. Yes, it's something positive with something negative, or something negative with something positive. Yes, but it's like a sentence, or usually it's for paragraphs. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
For example, a game. On one hand, that's something that I was telling my wife yesterday when I was playing PlayStation 3. Do you have a PlayStation 4?
No.
No.
No. Xbox, no, only.
Well, there is a problem with the PlayStation 4 about the fan. I don't know if you have heard about it.
Oh, yeah.
The fan,
I don't know.
it sounds like an airplane turbine. Like, so some games, they just, it doesn't sound at all like Dragon Ball Z Fighter. But if I play Resident Evil 2, it sounds because of the graphics. Yesterday I was playing PlayStation 3 and it was quiet. It was like, I cannot believe that the fan from PlayStation 3 was better from the PlayStation 4. So using an example like this, it's on the one hand, PlayStation 3 with all games, but they have a better fan. But on the other hand, PlayStation 4 with the new games, the fan makes a lot of noise. Yes?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes. You give me one? One example?
Yes, I have one.
Okay, Kwasi, on the one hand, gold. On the other hand, pain, and that's it. Yep.
Yes.
I mean, what can I tell you?
Kwasi.
You want to tell me something more? Oh my God, amazing. Oh, outstanding. No, just good. I was thinking about the example of coronavirus. On one hand, companies and countries are helping people. On the other hand, we live in Mexico. It's just, I don't know. I just like to use examples from real life. Okay, Kubasi. Okay, that was the one that I read. Anyone else?
Teacher, how do you say like a homework that it's in you have to finish in what month?
Deadline?
Okay.
Deadline?
I don't know. Let me write and you can check because I'm not like know exactly like the idea.
Sure. Okay, Sophia, on the one hand, she has coronavirus. On the other hand, she's not an old person. Good. Yeah, it's like the guys who went to Vive Latino. I mean, all of them were, on one hand, they went to the concert. On the other hand, anyway, Emma Patricia, on one hand, I have many drawings to finish. On the other hand, I love drawing. Excellent. Luis, on the one hand, I have too much homework. On the other hand, the deadline is in 1 month. Very good. Just remember that month doesn't have an N.
Month es con H.
Tristan, on the one hand, I have $1,000 on. Okay. Yes, it's that. Actually, that resumes my life. On the one hand, I have $1,000, and the other hand, I owe $2,000. Yeah, that's the story.
So sad.
Yeah. On the one hand, I have a PlayStation 4. On the other hand, I like more my PC. Yes.
No.
Now they listen to Amanda Miguel. Do you know Amanda Miguel?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a lady. Just
Is a lady with curly hair?
yeah. She usually hangs out with other. Hey, the garbage truck. Have you taken out the garbage?
Yeah. Thanks.
Daniel Roscoe, on the one hand, I ate 20 chicken nuggets. On the other hand, I might get sick and end up throwing up. By the way, have you heard the latest news about the new viruses in China?
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I see that, but
Antivirus?
in DF. In
Yeah,
Mexico.
the Hamta virus. I don't know if it has to relate with Hamtaro, but Hamta virus. I was like, what? They love to eat anything.
Yes.
Did you see the video from the market in Wuhan?
No.
Nope.
Man, it's terrible. They eat I didn't know that they eat cats.
Really?
I knew that they eat dogs, fish, weird fish, eels, sharks, dolphins, bats, and they have plenty of animals, turtles, but animals that I haven't seen in my life. But I didn't know that they eat cats. Cats. I thought it was like a divine being for them. But anyway, Keith, on the one hand, it's nice to have a break from things. On the other hand, people are getting sick and dying. Yes, it's true. Well, let's finish this. In contrary to, it's about linking ideas of contrast, followed by a noun phrase. It's pretty much like in spite of, but it's a little bit more formal. Example. Yeah, it happens especially in Smash. So, contrary to, in contrast to, you need to use a noun phrase pretty much like in spite of, but it's a little bit more formal. So there is nothing else to see unless you have a question about it. No? No questions? Okay. Well, and the last one, this is kind of cool because you don't need commas. Whereas it's another contrast word, but it's contrasting ideas. Example. You will have success, whereas others don't.
Okay.
Yes. If you have a question about this word, you can check in a dictionary, but it's basically the same. Affirmative, negative, negative, affirmative. I remember a campaign from Nintendo and Sega when they were like in the 90s, Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis, and they use. I'm gonna write an example. Yeah, there was a marketing campaign about it.
Wasn't it Nintendo?
Nintendo, yeah. You know history. By the way, have you seen my suggestion about Historia de las Consolas in YouTube?
No.
Oh, well, you should check them. Well, we're gonna stop right here with contrast because it's 1:47 and it's almost time. We're gonna continue this next class, but I want you to tell me right now if you have any questions about your project.
Yes, I have. At the beginning of the semester, we do a list of all of terms that the project have in a Word document.
Yes.
Where
who did? Sorry. Who did the Gremlins stuff? It was you, Patricia.
Yes.
Can you post the link in the chat so we can see it right here? Because I want to use yours as an example.
Okay.
Yeah, Luis. Yes, remember that your project is supposed to be divided in 5 sections. New trends, old school. I mean, you can have any title that you want. You can say old school or old games or vintage, as you wish. I mean, the vocabulary, I don't care. It's your presentation. But you need to talk about new games, old games, producers, facts. Thank you very much. I'm gonna show you the one that is from Irma. Facts, and I don't remember the last one. In my opinion. For example, this is a project of your classmate. This was the greatest thing. I don't know if you have changed it, but I asked you to change some things. This is pretty much what I wanted, and this is pretty cool. You have the game, for example, old game, Gremlins 2, by the way. I mean, you have the term S, you have a key Gremlin. Don't worry, you can do the changes later. You have the text, about the controls. Images really easy. You can get the images from Google. I mean, that's fine. Your experience. If you don't have time to play this game or you don't have access to this game, I mean, we have emulators.
Yeah.
Emulators, but if you don't have access to that, you can watch video games from YouTube.
Gameplay.
Or there is a page. There are plenty of pages in internet where you can play these games for free. Do you know them?
Yes.
No.
Okay, let me help you with this one.
Yes. Well, I knew one, but it was taken down.
It was Play Retro. Play Retro game. You can play all the games that you want from all games, from Atari, Lynx, Capcom, arcades. You have right here, Game Boy, Mame, NEC, Neo Geo, Nintendo 64. You can play these games for free. I don't know if you knew this page.
No.
Oh, I do now.
You do now. Yeah, it's like an emulator. They charge an emulator, they load the game, and then you can play. You need to choose, you can do something about the configuration, about the buttons. You can play with a control or with your PC thing. And it's pretty cool. I mean, Here you can watch. Let me see if I can see for Gremlins.
For example, in
Gremlins right
process,
here. For example, Gremlins right here. Let's see. I want to play this game. Yeah, some advertising. You know that this is a business advertising, and you have the screen. You can play it full screen or this screen. Some description. This might help for your project a little bit. Which is start game. You have the controls. Yeah, it's up, down, left, right, start, and even the music. And how fast this works, it depends on your internet connection.
Okay.
But at least you can get an idea. Right now it's slow because I have a drop in the Wi-Fi because I'm using a lot of internet because of the TV, the PlayStation 4 it's on. This is one option. You can save the game even. So what do you think about that?
It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, you can.
Very good.
If you don't have access to the old games. So difficulty, and this is very important. Your conclusion, your opinion about the game, and that's it. What do you think about Patricia's website?
very cool.
It's pretty.
It's nice. Yeah, and she has she already made the sections, retro game, new trends, producers, did you know, in my opinion. Okay, well.
For example, in producers, we can speak about an artist or...
Yes, well, an artist, or for example, for developers, you can talk about companies, for example, Capcom, Konami, or specific producers like Hideo Kojima or Suda51. Artists, you can talk about any famous artists of animation, comics, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yes. Did you know it's about just short information about anything that you consider to be important? And in my opinion, well, you got the topics and you just need to give your opinion in that section. But this is just perfect. This is what I wanted. Good job, Patricia.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay, so before leaving, just checking the objectives of today. We have a speaking practice. We talk about video games collection. Now that we suffered this quarantine, we learned something about relative clauses, defining and not defining. Defining, remember, you use words like where, what, where, which, who. Not defining is pretty much the same, but the only difference is like non-defining, it's extra information, and usually it's separated by commas. And we start with linkers, the part of contrast. We're gonna see them, the rest, next class. And I don't know if there is something else. Nope. Well, I'm gonna close this thing.
We can see this presentation in
YouTube. In eCampus. Yes, sure. You will have activities in eCampus. One or two, I mean, it's not that much. I'm gonna upload this presentation. You can have it around this day, maybe in 1 hour or 2 hours. You will have access to it. Anything else?
No.
No.
How do you feel with this thing about internet connection, the Zoom thing?
Good.
The first time is maybe weird, but with the time I feel more comfortable.
I really love to see your faces because I feel like speaking to a computer and watching my reflection on the computer doesn't help.
Okay.
There was like something that called my attention, and I don't know if it's true or not, but my wife says that I'm shouting. Is that true?
No.
But it's that shouting.
That I'm shouting like
No.
No.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thank you, everyone. We'll be in contact. If you have any further questions, you can contact me. You know, by
Discord
networks or Discord. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
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 Salam.